Hello guys, welcome back to Sports Betting Truth, and today we're going to talk about a post from user Tim1212 on the horrible website known as Reddit, and he wants to know if betting against the Nationals every game is a good idea. He says, I'm thinking of throwing like a quarter of a unit on the run line on their opponent every game this year because they're expected to be so bad. Tell me how stupid it is. Well, I'm going to tell you how stupid it is. Sportsbooks aren't dumb. This post reminds me of people, for example, when two very bad offensive college football teams are playing each other in a game like Iowa and Northwestern this past year, and everyone's like, oh, bet the under, as if the total for a college football game is the same number for every game across the board. Same thing when you get two teams with good offenses that don't play defense. I remember when Oklahoma and Texas Tech played like 6 years ago, both of them didn't play defense. Both of them had very good offenses, Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. And everyone's like, oh, bet the over, bet the over, bet the over, as if the total for every college football game is the same. And that's not the case, obviously. Sports books and odds makers aren't dumb. They're not dumb. They're not going to set a line that is exploitable, and betting against the Nationals is no different. Since the Nationals, yes, are expected to be very bad in 2023, the sportsbooks and odds makers know that. They have their projections, they have their models that are going to put that into play. So with the Nationals, whenever you bet against them, you're going to get a very juiced number to reflect the probabilities. Every line is based on the probability of that outcome happening. So a Nationals run line for their opponent is going to be based on the probability of that team winning by 2 runs or more. So with the Nationals expected to being so bad, you're not going to get a very good payout if the team does in fact win by 2 runs or more against the Nationals. That's how odds work. Sportsbooks aren't stupid. And if it turns out the Nationals really are as bad as people think they are, sportsbooks are going to get new data to reflect that, and the odds will get worse and worse if you want to bet against the Nationals on the run line. That's how odds work. I actually think you're going to have a better time betting on the Nationals every game because they're expected to be so bad, and that's going to go against the common consensus because everyone's going to be loading up against the Nationals. And on the rare occasion that the Nationals are a little bit better than people are expecting, then you're going to make money off of it, fading the common mantra out there that the Nationals are going to be very bad. But in the long run, whether you fade the Nationals or play the Nationals, chances are the odds makers are going to know more than you, and you're going to lose in the long term either way. So that's the thing about strategies like this, is that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if it's as simple as this guy makes it out to be, if there's a strategy out there that's as simple and easy as it looks to be, then it's probably not going to be a profitable one, because simple strategies like that generally are too simple, and therefore they're going to be baked into the line. You're not going to find any value out of it. So that's what I have to say about this guy's Tim1212's theory, but let's see if the comments agree with me. Top comment from user Moral Talk says, this is genius. You're the only person who has realized that the Nationals will be bad. Not a single sportsbook will adjust the run line to reflect their projected terribleness. Exactly what I was saying at the beginning of the video with the college football examples. It would make sense if every team's run line had the same payout and same line, but that's not the case. If every team's run line, if you're betting against them at -1.5, was plus 175, then yeah, it would make sense, but that's not the case. So Drew Palmer Fan Club actually uses an example from last year. He says someone did it with the Pirates. There's a link to the Google Sheet in the article. He bounced between run and money lines, but eventually made a profit. But a winning streak will wipe out your profits really fast. I mean, I'm not saying that this strategy will always lose, because as user Drew Palmer Fan Club pointed out, if someone who did it with the Pirates profited, yeah, it's possible. It's possible the sportsbooks aren't going to account for just how bad the Nationals will be. Because remember, projections are based on a theoretical average. So if you simulated the season a million times, what would the theoretical win total of the Nationals be? That's how win totals are calculated. But what if the Nationals are worse than that theoretical average, which they absolutely could be? then it will be profitable until the sportsbooks adjust. Danid says, no, because they're expected to be so bad will be baked into the price. Your strategy of betting every game is pretty good and fun, but if you want to pick a team that everyone expects to be good but you think will actually be bad, and that is modeling 101. I've said this before on this channel, but the whole point of having a good sports betting model, and therefore a good sports betting strategy, is that you are ahead of the curve. And Danid gives a good example. You have a model that a team is expected that says this team will be bad when everyone else thinks they're going to be good. Then you have a profitable strategy because you're ahead of the curve. That's how you ultimately succeed at sports betting, is by having foresight and being able to anticipate things before they actually happen. And that's what a good model does. That's what a good strategy does. If you're with the consensus, if you go with the flow, then you're almost always going to lose long term. John L. Ski says, if I'm not mistaken, the Diamondbacks were also expected to be very bad last year, and I saw some people here that had plans to fade them every game, and they ended the season with 94 and 68 against the spread. And then Edu Gabu says, for the Nats to be lucrative in the strategy, they need to suck even more than expected, like 40 wins in the season. Also true. So yeah, it looks like the comments are pretty much reflecting what I was saying, is that come on, sportsbooks and odds makers aren't dumb. Markets aren't dumb. They will adjust. I call these blind strategies. Blind strategies almost always never work out in the long run because they're too simple, and sportsbooks aren't dumb. So anyway, that wraps it up for this video. Kind of raining on Tim 1212's parade here. I'm not saying it's going to guaranteed to be a lose. I mean, it absolutely could pay off if the Nationals are even worse than people expect. I mean, they lost yesterday on opening day to the Braves 7-2, so you at least would have won yesterday's bet. But over the long run, I think books will adjust. You're not going to get value out of it. Anyway, that wraps it up for this video of Sports Betting Truth, grift-free sports betting discussion here. Just the truth. If you want grifting sports betting discussion, there's millions of videos on YouTube that were created by grifters and touts and scammers, but not me. I just give you the truth here on Sports Betting Truth. Anyway, I will see you guys later.